Competing to connections. How do we go from competing for sports in a way that we're really against other teams and we're competing and that competition is so just driven towards a result, to connections, connections to people, connecting to teammates, connections to who I am, and the connection of competing for me. So when you think about your athletic career and your career moving into business and philanthropy, how have you really taken that competing spirit and competing in sports into competing to win life for what matters to you?
Yeah, I think it's the willingness to build the relationships. I think it's the willingness to be vulnerable and the things that you don't know that you can improve. And it's just valuing the people that are around you. I think oftentimes we are about our goals and we forget every element that makes our goals possible. So connections it's very powerful in various layers because it furthers our lives and the team's goals in different realms, in different aspects, but it's so important. And it has to, I also believe that it cannot be casual. It must be something that you want to do it, that you work for it, and willing to improve every single time. Because you might find someone within your network that you think is valuable, but that person or that organization doesn't see anything in that relationship. So you must be willing to work on it. It's a process. It's a process in which you make them understand what you can bring or what you are valuable, and then in the process you will connect. So I find it to be extremely important that the work is not just expecting to be there, the connection just because you are in the same planet or in the same dimension. It has to be a purposeful effort to get there.
Well, I just really respect that connection about relationships. And I heard intention, I heard authenticity. So, you know, as we think about competing, so many times it's almost a disconnect because we're just so intense about what we want to achieve. And really introducing the new thinking of going from competing to connections. And first of all, connecting to myself, what matters to me, rather than being disconnected. And so how have you really competed for you and what matters to you by connecting and connections?
I would just go back to exactly what you said. It's connecting to yourself, to myself. By connecting to myself, it makes me be more aware of what's around me. And it also makes me choose the right people or the right paths to where I want to go. So in that, I assure that the relationships that I have are positive, are healthy, and also fun. It cannot just be about my goal, my business, and where I want to go. It's a process that should be fun because, as we all know, tomorrow is not processed. I want to make sure I enjoy every step of where I am because I might not arrive there. So I find it, for example, I played basketball for 34 years, and I find that I'm very wealthy in relationships. I have friends all over the world, and I find that very comforting, very powerful. And also all those people often serve as friends, as mentors, as advisors, so many things. So there is a very important path in networking, in the relationships, and connecting to yourself so that you can be able to connect with others.
It's an investment.
It is a very important investment.
Yes, it is an investment in ourselves that's so powerful. So, team, we want to challenge you. How are you investing in you, and how are you really going from competition to connections?